Wait, you got your lashes on, girl?
I got my lashes. I know you were.
This is what we do. Bloopers time.
Where the hell did I do with my gin and tonic? I can't be missing my gin and tonic.
I don't even tell y'all what time it is that we're doing this, but it's all good.
It's gin and tonic time.
Yeah, gin and tonic time. Gin and tonic time.
So what's up, homie? Let's talk.
Oh, we haven't started. All right. Welcome back to Chronicles Abroad. My name is Frantzces.
And I'm Nubia.
And today we're going to be talking a little bit about Nubia and some of the things that she's been able to create since being almost a year and a half, almost 2 years in Mexico. Nubia is involved in a lot of amazing and beautiful things surrounding community and community building. And so we're going to dive a little bit deep into that, mainly because what we're finding is that a lot of people are really nervous about when they move abroad or travel, whether or not they're going to find community. And Nubia exemplifies that it is absolutely possible, whether you become part of one or whether you create one.
Exactly.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Black In Tulum. We're going to talk about BlaxIt. And are we going to talk about that? Those are Black In Tulum.
Sure.
I can edit all that out. But
no, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All of it's on the table. Everybody knows I'm in full transparency with everything that I do. So
okay. All right. Awesome. So let's go a little bit back. Why is community so important to you? Because it's something that you did even before moving abroad, holding events, gathering people together. What kind of satisfaction does that bring you?
When I left the States, I ended up losing a lot of what I thought was friendships, right? I was shedding. I was becoming into my new self. And it was painful because I kept feeling like I had this community in the States, but come to find out, a lot of it was more superficial, right? But at the time, I didn't think like that. I was just like, why am I not able to keep friends and nobody's checking for me while I'm here? I am in Thailand by myself and I'm just not keeping the same level of relationships. Granted, I was 12 hours time difference ahead of people, but I'm a firm believer if something is important to you, you'll make it happen. So I just wasn't feeling good about it. And then I stumbled upon, I would say, a community of people of color in Thailand. And that opened my eyes to a whole new sense of what community looked like. We had a lot more in common. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about the superficial, like, what do you do? It's like, what made you leave? How long have you been gone? And we were able to relate to one another's stories. So community became it looked different to me after a while. And what I realized was no matter what country I was in, I was able to find community. It's not that I sought it out or was looking for it, specifically. It's just, I realized a simple smile, a simple hello went a long way. Meeting one person led to meeting two new people. And then that led to meeting a whole slew of people. And each one of those people had something that was unique about them that drew me to them, right? It was crazy. It was like divine intervention in a way. And I would always say the universe would have those people cross my paths when it's meant to be, right? So what I realized throughout this journey of meeting people was I'm a connector and I had to learn what my purpose was. And so once I learned that my purpose was connecting the dots or connecting people, I realized that's why I kept running into community, because I was directly or indirectly connecting people and they were supposed to meet. I was just a catalyst. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense, because I was going to say that, because beforehand you're all these people kind of disappeared. And I believe that, relationships are sometimes seasonal. It serves its purpose for where you are in life at the current moment. But now you're at a state where it's okay to connect and it's okay to kind of walk away from that. Not walk away, you don't want to be a part of it, but walk away okay, that was it. That was why I was here to do what I do. But I would say it's easy for you. It's not something that you have to really work hard at. You're a very friendly person. You like to reach out to folks, whether they smile back or not. You still do it, and that's fairly consistent in your demeanor. Whereas for some other folks, it might be a little bit harder. But tell us a little bit about why you started Black In Tulum. Why was that important? And what are some of the things that you've done so far?
Oh man. Well, Black In Tulum actually started by accident. I'll just be honest with you. Um, so for those who know my story and have been following my journey, I lived in Tulum last year, temporarily. I went there on vacation. I actually left Mexico City and came to Playa del Carmen for like a 10-day vacation. And while I was in Playa, I was like, I want to check out this place called Tulum, right? So I was supposed to only be in Tulum like 3 or 4 days, and I ended up staying over a month. The opportunities just presented themselves at the gate, at the jump. Like my first night there, I was offered an opportunity to live in a hostel, and I just did what I do best. I worked the room and asked people, where are you from? What do you do? That kind of thing. And I got to stay for free. And that was my first time around. So this time around, I had lived in Playa del Carmen for a little while and ended up getting quarantined there. I was supposed to go back to Chiang Mai, and COVID happened. And so I never like to use the term I'm stuck, right? But I got quarantined in Playa del Carmen. So when the quarantine restrictions started to lift in the city, I was like, oh my God, I've been in the house forever. I just
That
need
must
a
have been
dose.
hard for you because you're an uber extrovert. So I know you're probably like clawing at the walls.
I
Get
wasn't
me out.
actually. I actually wasn't. It was
You
like,
embraced it?
I embraced it completely. It was
Nice.
probably one of the best times, and I hate to say this out loud, but it was one of the best times I probably had in a long time. And I say that because I am such a mover. I move, I move, I move, I move, I move. I was forced to have to sit still. And I didn't realize how much my mind, body, and soul needed it. Because during that time that I sat still, I created Nubia Nibbles, my digital cookbook. I was able to get back to what I enjoyed doing, which was cooking. I was able to start working out and exercising. I started, really paying attention and journaling my thoughts. I was just doing a lot of things that I wasn't doing before because I was always on the go, 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 go. So back to the whole Tulum situation. So once the floodgates opened up for us in Playa, and it was like you're free to kind of move about, I hauled ass to Tulum just for nature. I just wanted to be back around greenery and quiet of like, the serene landscape and everything. So I came down here, and it was just beautiful, right? And then I started telling people, oh, come to Tulum, come hang out. We're taking pictures, we're hanging out, those kind of things. And what ended up happening was through taking photos and social media, people like, oh my God, Mexico is looking great. And everybody shutting their borders down to Americans. Mexico ended up becoming the place for Americans to go to get away. And then it was like people were coming to Tulum for whatever reason. And I don't know what the allure of Tulum was at the time because it's been here. It's been here. You know what I'm saying? But people were like, oh my God, I want to come to Tulum. So there was another group that had actually was open. I think it was, I don't know what it was called. But anyway, I was in that group and it was about Tulum. And I was like, you know what? I really want to add value to this group. I have some ideas. I want to be an admin, right? Well, the owner of the group, God bless her soul, ignored me. Okay, y'all. She ignored me. She ignored my request to be an admin. I don't know what she thought, but anywho, I hosted a brunch and she was all in my inbox. Oh, take pictures. Make sure you post it in the group. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. I can't make the brunch, but make sure you post pictures, post pictures, post pictures. And I'm just like, but you're ignoring my
No.
request to be an admin.
I'm gonna go
And
do
I'm
my own
like,
stuff.
well, the thing about it is if you know me enough,
Mhm.
Frantzces, to know that I'm quick to want to collaborate with
Yeah.
people. But I kept hearing, my mentor and business coach, Claire Soares from Up in the Air Life, say to me, Nubia, stop partnering up with people and do your own thing. You're strong enough. You're a badass. You can do it. You know what I mean? And I hosted my first brunch. 8 people showed up. I thought that was successful.
That's awesome.
And I said, I want to do it again. I'm going to do another brunch 2 weeks later. 25 people showed up.
Wow.
And everybody was like loving it. Oh my God, Nubia, this is great. All these Black people. Now it's 25 of us. Okay. Now there's about 1,000 of us, but it's, 25 people in one place, people of color. And they're just like, I love this, Nubia, And I was just like, okay, if I create a group, will you guys support me? They were like, hell yeah. So that night I created Black In Tulum. Wow. We started with 25 people. I am now at 1,700 people in less.
It grew really, really fast.
Yes. 1,700 people. I have 6 moderators, 1 photographer, 1 social media manager. It's like, it's a whole business at this point. And it was not meant to be like, it was just supposed to be something to link us all up for brunch. And it has grown exponentially.
But you gotta understand, you said it wasn't supposed to be like that, but you have to understand that Nubia is a power manifester. So whatever she touches, it multiplies.
I appreciate you.
No, it's true, right? You just go in and it's just like, bam. And most of the time it turns into gold without much effort usually. I mean, there's a lot of work, but it's what you do, like I said, comes very natural to you.
Yeah, so it's effortless,
Yeah, so I feel like, and this speaks to working in your zone of genius. Like when you work in your zone of genius is like networking, connecting with people, putting events together, making sure people are having a great time. When you step into that zone of genius, like shit just takes off.
Yeah. Because you're passionate about it. When you're driven by your passion, and it's a different story. I'm not driven by money, And I keep telling, I'm so thankful. I just had a Black In Tulum admin meeting, and I was just so thankful for the people who moderate the group, because they do that on their own time. There's no way I could literally assist everybody in the group asking all these questions and wanting to know this. My moderators jump in and they really do help out, and they point people to the right resources, and they just been instrumental in the growth of the group. So it's not just a Nubia thing. It is definitely a collective.
Yeah, and it shows that, people are really driven by the mission and really want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
But
that also goes to our pillars though, right? Our pillars are to educate, to empower, and to explore. We use those pillars throughout Chronicles Abroad. I continue to use those pillars against all of the platforms that I'm in. So as long as it's the same and we're providing a resource and we're educating people and we're helping them to explore different options, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes full circle. I think when you live from your values, it really makes the work a lot easier to navigate, really.
Sure.
But I'm going to flip the script a little bit, because when you said, you can't manage it all, it takes a village to raise a lot of these businesses and to really make them successful. But you had mentioned, like, you get a lot of questions, like you get pulled left, right, sideways, 360. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because I think it's worth talking about, and it's worth talking about because the work that you and I do takes a lot of energy. It's very intentional and it's impactful. And we want to provide as much as we can, support, services, opportunities to people. But I'm finding that from just having conversations with you is that for some folks, there can be a lack of courtesy in that. Can you speak a little bit to that and how that has made you feel and how you've been able to navigate it?
Oh, man. Yeah. And I don't think it's intentional for a lot of people. I don't think they realize it.
No.
But, and this is just me prefacing to everybody, when it comes down to having somebody that is considered an expert in whatever that subject matter is, be mindful when asking them questions, because you're probably not the only person asking questions. So what ends up happening is that my inbox gets flooded day to day all day long with random questions. And it could be, you know, just how do I get here? You know, what do you use for this? It could be random, to 100 questions. I mean, in one sitting, I've had it all. Now, my issue with people asking questions, because I don't have a problem with people asking questions, but the issue that I have is when you show up in my inbox, there's no hello, there's no type of greeting to say, hey girl, hey, how you doing? You know, I you know, seen you on X, Y, and Z, or I love what you're doing. Some kind of acknowledgement to say that, you know, you've done your kind of research or due diligence before you reached out, number one. Two, maybe even asking, you know, is there a link? Do you have to offer a fee or whatever? Because the same time is money. It's true. Like, I used to answer everybody in my inbox because I felt an obligation to do so. But what was happening was I found myself spending hours in the inboxes, right? Because they're messaging me on Facebook, they're messaging me on Instagram. I'm getting emails in my DM, I mean, in my inbox. And, you know, it's just all of those platforms. And I always felt like, oh, let me get back to this person, because I never wanted to upset somebody or make them feel like I'm too big to answer their question, right? Because I've been there. I've totally been there. And I was that person at one point that wanted answers and just was like, hi, my name is Nubia. You know, I just got a quick question. But it's never a quick question. It's never a quick question, because once you ask one and I answer it, then here comes the barrage of other questions. The floodgates open up because I allowed it. So I was getting a ton of I felt like not courteous, kind of rude, like, send me information for X, Y, and Z. Excuse me? And then I would start getting like, who do you think you are, demanding me to do something that I don't even know who you are? Like, get out my inbox. And that's just not who I am. I'm a very friendly person. I love to answer people's questions, but I had to set boundaries. So over the last few months, and I'm sorry for anybody who's watching this that maybe have reached out and I haven't responded, or I responded in a very general sense because I had to actually write like scripted, what are they called, Frantzces?
Quick replies.
Yeah, quick replies. I had to write scripted quick replies because I was getting a lot of the same stuff. So it's just like, hey, thank you for reaching out. You know, this is where you can find the resource. You get what I'm saying? And it just makes it a lot easier for me, because mentally it was making me feel like shit. Yeah. It doesn't feel good to always think that somebody just wants to take from you and take from you and take from you and take from you. And it was never a situation where people are seriously like, hey girl, how are you? You know what I mean? I'm enjoying the content, or thank you for being a resource. It was just like, hey, I need this. I'll be in, I'll be in Tulum, in October. I need accommodations. Okay, are you going to pay for me to create your itinerary? I mean,
like, come on, people. Come on.
You just have to be mindful of how you ask for information. And most times these are people that never once said hello to me before. So why do you think that I would want to actually help you out now without you really coming at me respectfully? You know what I mean?
And it's really no shade, but like Maya Angelou says, teach people how to treat you, and you have to teach people how to treat you. I mean, people do the same thing to me, and they want full counseling services in my DMs, and I'm like, first of all, that's not how it works, but all the time, like, oh, I'm experiencing this, and da-da-da. And depending who it is, I may have that conversation briefly with them, but that's just not okay. You know what I mean? It's
I've never been the kind of person that likes to, hit people off of my payment link. Like, I just was.
But I mean,
yeah,
I know, because I used to be like, Nubia, you need to stop doing this and start charging for your time, because when your time doesn't just one day fall on your lap, your skill sets, I mean, your expertise doesn't just fall on your lap. You build that up, constant hours, research, putting yourself out there first, experiencing it firsthand, and, making all the mistakes, You're basically
All the
shortening,
mistakes.
you're shortening the learning curve for a lot of people, and that's priceless.
Yeah.
People pay
Oh
for
yeah.
that, the convenience.
Yeah. You've
And,
been telling me that for years,
for
Francis, and
years,
I'm just now
we're
learning.
working through it, you know what I mean? We're working through it. And, just like me, I went to grad school for this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm paying the student loan though, so, no shade, but just be respectful. I'm a big fan of kindness, and, just one simple sentence goes a long way. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Um,
Exactly.
so what are some of the things? So you've held brunches. What other things have you done with Black in Tulum?
Oh man, Black in Tulum is just one piece of the puzzle, right? So with Black in Tulum specifically, it started with the brunches, and then we started doing welcome happy hours and beach club days. Now I'm moving
Those are
into,
fun.
yeah.
They are fun.
Now I'm into actually providing tours
Hmm.
to cenotes and to some of the best of the sites in Tulum, because I'm constantly getting people who are like, where's that statue of whatever and that picture and this, that, and the other. So I'm just going to start putting, or have been starting to put these things together where we're actually just taking you to those places. You get what I
Awesome.
mean?
Hmm.
So that, and we have like now a resident photographer. So make a long story short, to sum it up, you know how Airbnb has Airbnb experiences?
Yep.
Well, Black in Tulum has now Black in Tulum experiences.
Beautiful.
So we're offering and providing services, products, and for our members to be able to get all of this stuff right then and there. You want a private chef, you can book it through Black in Tulum. You want a massage, your nails done, your eyebrows, and your lashes done, we got you. You know what I'm saying? We have a ton of vendors and people that we work with that we can go ahead and provide and set up those services for you.
Sounds like
So
a membership site. Wink, wink.
don't start. Don't start.
Another thing on your plate. All right, so you've got Black in Tulum. Let me tell y'all, Nubia's busy as, okay? She's busy, busy, busy,
Yeah.
busy. And then now you created BlaxIt. What is BlaxIt?
Yes.
I love the
BlaxIt is
name, by the way.
amazing. Well, BlaxIt has been around for a while. If anybody understands the concept of BlaxIt, it actually happened. I believe the woman was from the UK and or France, one or the other, and she moved to the Gambia, and that is how BlaxIt began. She started a movement called BlaxIt, which is pretty much, blacks exiting stage left to Africa specifically. But in this day and age, we just want y'all to get out of America. So Faye Tillery was actually the person that created BlaxIt. And she created the group in Facebook. And again, me being my normal self, it was probably like 10 days into the group. I seen the potential from the gate. And I was like, Faye, I want to work with you on this. And she was like, girl, let's do it. So I became a co-founder, and that group is now 4 months old, and we have almost 4,000 people in the group.
That's
So
bananas.
BlaxIt, yes, bananas, and we call it BlaxIt Tribe as a family. It's no, I know some people have an issue with people using the word tribe, but somebody else created another BlaxIt group, and then there was another like if you look under BlaxIt, there's like 8 BlaxIt groups, so we just had to be separate in some way. And even with that, let's just say that being who I am, I have reached out to people who have other BlaxIt groups to try to coordinate and put them all together, but they have their own agendas. This is why Facebook has 100 million thousand different groups for no reason, when we're all doing the same thing, but for whatever reason, people want to do their own thing. But anywho, back to business. So
That's another podcast conversation, child.
I'm gonna sip my drink on that one. But with that said, BlaxIt has grown again expeditiously, and Faye and I are just working hard to provide resources for people. So we hold lives in our group pretty much once a week, and we switch off. I'll do a live called In Full Transparency, and I typically would do it around a region. So we did In Full Transparency Mexico, In Full Transparency being like a digital nomad, In Full Transparency how to save to move abroad. Yeah, we did that. So I've done a couple of lives with people who are experts in their industry that can help the people in the BlaxIt group. And I stream all my lives directly into the BlaxIt group. And if you're not in the group, you don't have access to the replays. So Faye does a lot of panels. She loves panels. So she did a remote work panel, and she did a couple of other panels. So we actually provide like real live, like we're talking to you. We do Q&As once a month.
In real life.
In real life type shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is not just, comment, post, comment, post. Mm-hmm. We house a live with Nubia and Faye every single month at the end of the month, where we do a Q&A, and we have people join in and we answer your questions right then and there on the spot. Faye has been living abroad for a number of years. She's currently living in Kenya, and I am obviously living in Mexico. We both have had stints of living in Colombia. I've lived in Thailand. She's lived in other regions. So we have a collective of maybe about 60 countries between us. We've lived in probably about 6 to 8 countries between us, and we have a lot of knowledge base. So we just put our heads together, man, and it is like magic.
Beautiful, beautiful. So all these resources, all these opportunities for Black folks, I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, when you think about like how out of reach travel seemed for a lot of people of color, specifically Black folks, you see that now it's like, it's reachable, it's possible, it's accessible. Yeah. And I think that is so important, especially in the climate that we're in, that we have access to these opportunities as much as our counterparts.
Yeah, so, and I want to reach out to, because Chronicles Abroad is not a primarily Black anything, right? Yeah. Like Frantzces and I are Black women, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But our audience is a definitely mix of everyone, and we love that. Men, women, and it doesn't matter your color. The reason why I've been extremely focused on Black Americans is because they are killing us at alarming numbers in America, and it hurts my heart. It is like, I feel a profound duty, right, to bring abundance into everyone's life in some way, shape, or form. And if I could do that by helping you exit a place that is killing you, I'm going to do that. I call myself like a modern day Harriet Tubman, seriously. Like if I can provide a resource for you to make a better decision to get out of a volatile situation, that's what I'm going to do. So I've been very much involved, and that's my way of being involved in the Black Lives Matter. From afar, from a distance, people think, that I'm not affected by it. I spent nights crying after looking at, media coverage or hearing about another friggin' Black man being shot in his back or being shot down or hunted or whatever. And it hurts. It hurts so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's not possible to not be affected, even if, like, just watching it, hearing about it as Black people were affected. It doesn't have to be.
And I'm a mother of a young Black boy.
Exactly.
And a young Black woman. So it's my duty to do something. And if the only thing I can do is to teach somebody else how to live a more prosperous and fulfilling life somewhere else where their safety is, the number one, concern, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help them get to where they need to be and be safe. So that's what I do. Yeah. So I know a lot of, I've also gotten backlash from some of my, followers that were white, who felt like I did this complete turn of
events.
Did you? And yeah.
Did you know? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was told, thank you for sharing all of this information and your wealth of knowledge and all of this up to this point, but you're becoming pretty much exclusory, like you're excluding a whole race of people. And it's not that I'm excluding, I still share my information willingly on my personal social media page and everything else. But during this uprising and during this time, I need to focus on really helping my people as well as I'm always here to help people.
Listen, you don't need to explain yourself. Let me tell you something, because now I'm getting fired up. I'm a social worker by core to core. Social justice is my value. So we, BIPOC, need our own spaces. Understand that. because we cannot process our race-based trauma with white people, period. We cannot. It is not possible. I don't care how much books you read, how many books you've read. I don't care how many research papers you read, how many Black friends you have. We cannot process that. And if you read Resmaa Menakem's book, I think it's called My Grandmother's Hands or something like that. It's still on my wish list to read, but he did a whole podcast about how DEI work needs to be done separately and then be done together. Because both white people need their safe space to kind of process their own generational trauma from their ancestors, hate and rage, and we need to process that, and then we come together. Yeah. So understand that it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with
I mean, I'm not doing anything unapologetically.
Yeah, I know. I just want to make that clear. You know, you know, this is the same reason why I hold the BIPOC support group, because Black people who are most like, a lot of these folks who are still in the industry working, they're Black and they're working alone because there isn't enough inclusivity. So if you're the only one and always the only one, how are you managing the day-to-day microaggressions, period?
Yeah.
So,
and for me, like, you know, starting the Black in Tulum was really a sense of bringing diversity to Mexico. I mean, Mexico is full of people of color, obviously, as Mexicans are people of color. But truth be told, the Mexican government hasn't even, they just started only about 4 or 5 years ago, including Afro-Mexicans into the census. So it just goes to show you that there's so much growth to be done in so many places. The same way when we lived in Thailand, Frantzces, a lot of people seen our, you know, photos and seen our coverage, like, oh my God, does that mean Black people in Thailand? Like, it's just really showing, you know, these countries that we're here. We do travel, we spend our money just like the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? The difference is we're not trying to take your shit. We're not trying to take your land. We're trying to
share it,
enjoy and share. Exactly. So I started, you know, Black in Tulum for me is to really show the tourism board in Mexico, like, Black people are here and we love your country. We need a safe place to be. We don't believe the shit that Trump is saying about Mexico being X, Y, and Z and this, that, and the other. We don't see it like that. We see this as a beautiful respite, as a place of abundance, as a place of healing. We love your people, we love the food, we love the language, and we're here to be a part of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're spending our money here. We're hiring your workers. We're doing all these things. And I want to show that, you know, in a really positive light. And don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of people trying to join the group that's like, Tulum is the new Miami. It's not. These are young people. These are young people really just trying to break free and live freely. And that's fine. That's A-okay. But believe me, I'm the first person to be like, stop. You know, this place is it's a jungle. We need to love it. We need to take care of it. We need, you know, sustainable tourism is my thing. Conscious traveler. Exactly. Exactly.
I love Tulum.
We can have fun.
Yeah, you have fun, but it's really a very serene place. It's has a lot of serene properties around it. It's not your what you call it? What's that place in Brazil? Ibiza.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, and certain countries are definitely that, and Cancun was one of them. Cancun was like the hot spot for it. So I just try to tell people, because I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, there's nothing to do after 10. You're damn right, because everything shuts down.
Go home. Go sleep. Go night-night, as you say.
Night-night.
So, all right, so you built this amazing community, but, and we talked about this a little bit, you still don't feel planted.
No.
So what's that about?
I don't know, Frantzces. You tell me. You're the one that's always telling me.
So I'm gonna have to send you my PayPal link then.
Oh, y'all see this? I probably got like 3 years worth of invoices.
Yeah, what's that about?
I am a true nomad to every sense of the word. So people say, oh yeah, I want to live this expat life. And an expat and a nomad are very different in a way that a nomad wanders. You know, if you look up the definition of a nomad, it actually is very much coincides with the word gypsy or wanderer. You know what I mean? An expat literally moves from one place into a new country and settles pretty much. A nomad doesn't. I can only settle but for so long before I move on to the next location. And I think a lot of that is, so now we're going to have to go a little bit deep, right?
Let's do it. That's why I said it, child. Let's go.
So back in Thailand, Frantzces and I, when we started Chronicles Abroad, our season 1, we interviewed a Black gentleman by the name of Harry. Harry was a shaman, or Harry is a shaman, is a shaman in Thailand. And we had him on the show through a referral of somebody who was an oracle. She has long passed on. So Frantzces ended up seeking his services and came back and was like, yo, yeah, legit, right? So I was like, okay, cool, I'll go and have a session. So I had a session with him. And before I left Thailand, I had like 3 or 4 sessions by that time. And during my sessions with him, I was told that I am young. I'm still young. I'm like 400 years old in the sense of my spirit, my soul has been around this earth for about 400 years. And in those years of my soul being, in different places, I moved around a lot. That villagers would wait for me to come into their village and pretty much like touch them and tell them it was okay to move on to the next step. You get what I'm saying? A birth and different things like that. And I wish I would have recorded it because I can't say it verbatim, but I moved about to different countries, different cities, different places, and I left my mark. That's just in a
spiritual sense.
In a spiritual sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like in this particular time and in this body, that's exactly what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I left my mark in many places that I've stepped foot in. You know what I mean? Whatever that mark was. And I don't know when that is supposed to end, but I don't think it is. I am searching and seeking for a home base. And because what people don't get from me is the fact that I cry every time I got to pack up and go to a new country.
Yeah.
It's a lot. My anxiety hits on 10, if not 20. I am flooded with kind of like a loss, a sense of I'm homeless, because I'm packing up my whole entire life in these suitcases, trying to now move on and acclimate to a new place. So I'm grieving the place that I'm leaving behind. However, I'm excited about the possibilities of what's yet to come. You know what I mean?
So
and even when I get to that.
So not to interrupt, but then people would say, then why leave?
It's honestly, it's something that is, it's almost like embedded inside of me. It's weird. I get this like,
it's not
it's
weird.
time to go.
It's not weird. I understand it and I feel it myself. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's this even when I left the States, like it was this overwhelming urge, like this force that was like pulling at me, like, come on. You ever see those things of a kid just pulling a parent, like, come on.
Yeah.
That's the energy that was pulling me. I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing. I didn't have a clue. 3.5 years ago when I left, I had no clue what I was doing, but I just knew I had to do something. And it was almost like it was what's that called when you're just being overcome by this energy that was like, you got to go.
Like you're possessed by it almost, yeah.
Exactly, yes. And I couldn't understand where it was coming from. So it happens to me I love Chiang Mai. I absolutely love Chiang Mai. I didn't want to leave, but my time was up. I felt like it was time to go. And I just knew that I would be back, But I took that for granted as well, because none of us would have thought that this pandemic would have happened. So even though I left with all intentions on going back, I haven't been back in almost 1.5 years, and that hurts my heart, because I really thought I was only going to leave temporarily, and 1.5 years seems like forever to me.
But you weren't supposed to leave because you weren't supposed to leave because you had to build all this community, child.
And that's what I was just about to say is like, I had all intentions on leaving Mexico in March until COVID happened and, you know, it cut my time. I wouldn't have created the cookbook. I wouldn't have, really started with Up in the Air Life and curating these beautiful luxury experiences. I wouldn't have, started on my coaching program. I wouldn't have created BlaxIt and created Black In Tulum. None of this stuff would have happened had I left. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at this point in my life where I don't use the term stuck. I don't use the terms like, I was forced to. No, the universe had something else in store for me. And now that Black In Tulum has grown to what it is, I could actually leave Tulum and it will still run.
Yeah.
It would still be a powerhouse. It would still be a force to be reckoned with because of the people that I entrusted to help moderate it, and because of the amount of people in the group that just really do appreciate the group itself.
Yeah.
And they feed the group. I mean, my heart is full. So I feel like I left my mark. I honestly feel like my time is up in Salon, and it's just about when
and where, child.
When and where.
But I did want to highlight a few things. So whenever I always feel like whenever people are faced with like things that may not go exactly the way that they planned on going, or maybe they got a rejection, or maybe whatever it was didn't work out. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we find ourselves fixated on, damn, why didn't I get this? Why didn't this happen? Da da da. What I've come to realize over the last few years is that when you look back, you're like, okay, you really have to do that reflection. Mm-hmm. This is why I never get upset when things don't really work out. Because in my mind, the universe is doing something that's a much bigger play that is totally out of my hands, and it's going to lead me to where I'm supposed to be each and every time.
Can I share a story about that?
Sure, yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't even tell you this, Frantzces, yet. So you don't even know. So the other, I don't know when we're going to air this, so I'll just say, we went to Isla Mujeres. I helped coordinate a trip to Isla Mujeres, and I was supposed to do it with about 8 people. And I invited, 10 because I know that people would drop off. And it went to 7 people, and then it went to 4, and then it went to 3, then went back up to 5, and then, you see what I'm saying? Because this is how people roll, right? So all of this coordination was driving me crazy because people were like, yeah, oh, sorry, I can't. Or, okay, then dropping out. And we were going to Isla Mujeres. We went to Isla Mujeres to go swimming with the whale sharks. So we were making reservations and adding the people to our reservation. So having to continuously change the reservation was like frustrating, right? So make a long story short, we ended up with 5. Last minute, somebody wanted to jump in, day of, literally. And I was like, I can't do this. I was like stressed. I was like, I don't want to, here's the information. I'm not coordinating no more. Let's just go to Isla. I'm not doing this, right? People in my inbox, hey girl, you still going? You got time? You got room? I'm not answering nothing. I was over it. So the 5 of us get to Isla Mujeres, right? And when I say I coordinated the whole thing, I'm talking about the ferry tickets, we did the whale shark thing, the hotels, everything was already coordinated. All you had to do was send your money, right? And show the fuck up. That's it. So we get to Isla Mujeres. We're having a good time. The next day was our whale shark day. So we get to the boat. 3 other guys were coming on the boat with us because the boat holds 8 people total. So we're on the boat with 3 other strangers, and the waters were kind of rocky, not gonna lie. The waters, the waves were a little high.
I would have freaked out, child.
We all were holding on for dear life in the boat. Lord. I'm not gonna lie. But we were all committed because we were like, we paid our money, we're gonna go see these whale sharks, right? One of the guys on the boat, oh my God, this is dangerous. Get me up out of here. Turn this boat around. We are 45 minutes out into the middle of the goddamn Caribbean Sea. And you talking about turn this boat around. I was like, dude, if you don't shut up, are you okay? Like, are you gonna die? You good? You about to vomit? What do you need? Because we're gonna stay on this boat. He was like, no, I need to go right now. Turn this boat around. So I was like, well, unless you're paying for us because we spent our money, you're staying on this boat, right? Because anybody who knows me know I'm very much
a little firecracker.
I'm a firecracker. So he was like, fine, money ain't an object to me. I don't care. I will pay this whole boat out. I just want to get back to the dock. I was like, y'all heard this, right? I was like, this is how much you'll be paying me because this is how much we spent, right? He said, fine, no problem. So I told the captain, turn this goddamn boat around. So the captain turned the boat around and we're heading back to the island of Isla Mujeres, right? Before we even, he was like, we're only 10 minutes away from the whale sharks, literally. But the guy was freaking out. We get to the dock. And so I was like, Zelle, please, right? So he was like, well, I got PayPal, no problem. That man PayPal me our money back.
Goddamn.
Right? But peep this, it was only like 11:30 in the morning by this time.
So you went back out.
I turned to the captain. It was like, so let's negotiate a deal. Let's do this. By the time I was done, I had negotiated 2 days on a private boat for the 5 of us. We went snorkeling to the underground museum. We had fresh conch ceviche made for us on the boat. We had, you know, snacks and everything. He took us out to the open waters. We were able to relax on the beach. The next morning, he picked us up at our hotel because our hotel had a dock, okay? So we were sitting on the dock waiting. The boat pulls up. It was crazy. It's like waiting for your taxi, right? But your boat pulls up. Our boat pulls up. The waters were calm.
No
the
way.
waters were beautiful. We went out to see the whale sharks. There was only one other boat out there with us that early in the morning.
Wow.
We got to swim with these beautiful, massive creatures, right, in the water. So we all got a chance to get out there and snorkel with the manta rays and the whale sharks and the barracudas and all of this stuff, right? We come out of the water and we're like, what the freak? There was like 25 boats. And we're like, where did they all come from?
Just in time.
Just in time. So the captain's like, okay, how y'all good? We all went out at least 3 times snorkeling. Like we all took turns, kind of like, you know, at 2 at a time, just to kind of, you want to give them their space as well.
Yeah.
You don't want to crowd them. So once we started seeing all the boats and we started seeing that the whale sharks were trying to like get the hell out of our, you know, just bolted. They were like, forget all this. This is nonsense, right? Mm-hmm. And we were like, oh, we're not getting back in the water with them right now. They seem agitated. We're good. So he took us out to the beach. We were like one of 3 boats on the beach.
Oh my gosh.
Got some more ceviche made for us on the, you know, we played our playlist and we on the boat doing the electric
I saw you guys were twerking.
All of it, okay? It was the best time ever. But my point of saying that was, when we were on the boat that first day and the waters were choppy and shit didn't look like it was going to be going right, and this guy turned us around, it was actually the biggest blessing, because for the same price that we paid initially to go out was the same price we got a 2-for-1, and we got to see more things. We got to go out on the reefs and see these beautiful like colored fish and all of this stuff. We got to do so much more with his money than we did with our own. Wow. And we just all went with the flow. Yeah. And it was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing.
That sounds beautiful. I mean, I love that example. It's a perfect example to illustrate what I was trying to say, because we often find ourselves resisting and fighting and really wanting to control every aspect of something when we're really not meant to do that. And so you just taking a step back and say, you know what, bump this. Look what just happened. I'm telling you, the best thing that you can do is to let go and let God. Whether you're religious or not, let go and let something, okay? But no, for real, because I feel like when you just surrender, like just things just flow and move.
Just happen.
Because when you have that resistance, what you do is just blocking everything from coming for you.
Exactly.
Oh, man, that's a great story.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's real life, you know? So yeah, Frantzces said it right. Let go and let it be. You know, just let go and let it be. It may look dire in that particular moment, but there was a reason why it didn't happen. Just like when people have events and they're just like trying to get everybody there. That's not me. The people that are there are the people that are supposed to be there. I don't care if it's 2 or if it's 22 or 200. Those people are the people that's supposed to be there. I'm not going to pull you off the street and bring you there. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not about vanity metrics, and I'm not about quality. I'm about quality over quantity.
Yeah. And not trying to force things.
I'm not going to force the hand. So yeah, definitely. You got to just let go. And every time that I've let go and let it be, I've embarked on some of the most amazing adventures and have met some of the most amazing people. Just random.
Yeah.
I say by chance, but
it's not.
You know,
you don't
it's
believe
not by chance.
Nothing.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Don't believe in coincidences, child. No. So as we wrap things up a little bit, you know, what kind of message would you like to leave with the audience? I mean, you've really lived a full life, even fuller life, I would say, this past few years.
I lived.
That's not what I meant. I meant to say, like,
I'm living.
What I'm saying is essentially, like, all the decisions that you've made thus far has really let you step into the full embodiment of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a certain perspective, it takes a certain mindset, it takes a certain trust to get there. And so I'm curious, you know, what message would you have, or do you have, for those folks who are really kind of getting in their own way?
Well, I just got to say this up front, because, you know, I'm very transparent about shit. I still get in my own way. So, you know, what I tell you, just know that I'm still dealing and battling with those same situations and beliefs. So you create your own reality, okay? The way you view things, the way you speak about things, your words are powerful. And you have the power in you to be and become whoever you choose to want to be and become, right? And I had to learn that, you know, I've embraced it at this point, and I understand it a lot better. It's very hard sometimes to explain to somebody how abundant and how powerful and how prosperous they really are when all they're thinking about is all the things they don't have. Does that make sense? But you have to learn how to appreciate with full gratitude and be thankful and grateful for the things that you do have, and understand that the things that you don't have are either A, not meant for you, or B, it's just not your time. You get what I mean? So be patient with yourself.
Yeah, I love it. Give yourself some grace.
Give yourself some grace, but at the same time, you want to be able to start shifting your mindset. Yeah. If you shift your mindset, people always go, oh, I wish I could stop wishing. Start doing. Yeah. You can. You're the one that's choosing not to. And it doesn't have to look like the way I do it. And that's another thing. Don't have linear thinking. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to be permanent. It doesn't have to be to Tulum. It doesn't have to be to, you know, whatever. It can look however you want it to look. If you can visualize it, you can manifest it in your true reality. That's it.
I love it. I love it. I mean, nothing more to say here, guys. Go out there, stop watching us, and go create something, child. I said that with a lot of love. All right, guys, until next time, peace.
Peace.